I'm Gundula, I'm a gardener at Babylonstoren. I'm continuing our series on how to grow vegetables confidently at home, and I'm going to do the demo of how to plant different seedlings as well as sowing different vegetables in the space we have over here. The vegetables we're focusing on are really what's available right now for winter, what's best for our winter time that we have. And what I'm going to do is prepare the soil here by just topping it up with a good layer of compost. I've selected a small portion of our garden to demonstrate what you could do easily at home if you have a smaller space. So we have prepared the soil here, nice slightly raised beds that have not been compacted as the path has been on this side. I have sprinkled a fine layer of organic fertilizer down below, and then a layer of compost has been spread on top of that. So this is the area that doesn't need tilling. There's been very little disturbance, pulling out a few weeds before, and I'm protecting it again with the straw layer of mulch to prevent more weeds from coming, and also to create a little blanket that once the snow falls, it's going to be a little bit more cozy in there and allow for growth. And if it does become dry, perhaps, then there's enough moisture retention in the soil here. Mulch is almost like an extension of your compost. It allows a lot of the microbes to already start settling in here, and in time this mulch will become the next layer of soil lower down. So in this first section that I'm planting up, I'm planting plants that are very, very hungry, my cabbages. Some cabbages here, they would like to grow nice with fat heads, and so they will be planted here in the center holes. So in time, they will be actually taking up and filling up this whole space. So the cabbages are very attractive to pests. They can smell it a mile away, and they really get a lot of aphids in particular that hide in between the leaves, so you have to keep an eye out for this. To prevent you from having to spray a lot of insecticide, you'd want to actually plant these companions. And so these companions here that work well with the cabbage family are herbs like parsley and celery that have quite a strong scent that mask the lovely scent of the cabbages. Or even stronger are these spring onions that have a potent scent, and they really are very protective to many other vegetables too. So they're very useful to put in, and they're quite narrow in their habits, so easy to put in between other vegetables. Where I've planted the heavy feeders, I'm next planting different vegetables that don't need so many nutrients from the soil, much easier to grow. So also, if you don't have that much time to wait for a cabbage to mature, these are the ones that you can plant quite easily. Within a few weeks, you can already start harvesting the young leaves at the bottom. So it's a much longer, continuous process of actually getting benefit from your garden. These type of vegetables would include beetroot, chard, spinach. Here I have some lettuce, we have coriander, and also some tatsoi. Other mustards would also work well, rocket, dill, fennel even would work well. They need similar spacing, so I can plant them much tighter and closer together. And what I also do is I plant them in a zigzag formation. So if I planted one here, for example, I could do the other one in between the others, and I can even make nice patterns with these as we go along. you'd like to gain confidence with sowing, you've got to start with radish. They sprout super fast and they're just so rewarding. So we've sown radish over here in rows to make it easy. I would always look at the size of the seed to decide how deep to sow my vegetables. So the radish is rather large, easy to handle, so easy to also sprinkle out more finely within your rows, and then you just cover it up with soil. The chamomile that I've added on this side here has got really fine seeds, and so that's something you'd just about sprinkle on the soil, hardly cover at all. The chamomile is a lovely herb to plant in between, not only good to harvest when you want to have sleepy time tea, but also to encourage the taste and flavor of the other vegetables. So there's our herbs that grow, or vegetables that grow pretty easily and quite quickly. The other root crops that would be useful to sow are things like the carrots. Depending on your soil type, if you have clay, you wouldn't touch a carrot at all. You need really well-drained soil. The other reason why we're planting these root crops at the end of our crop rotation cycle is because they want hardly any nutrients. I've not put any fertilizer down here, nor any compost. I'm not mulching it now because I don't want them to be covered too much. They want to have direct sunlight to burst out into growth again, and they'll be swelling up below the soil with their roots. Once the carrots have grown and the soil is completely depleted from nutrients, or at least not completely, but most of it's been nibbled out by the vegetables, your next crop that you want to plant are your legumes. So by the time we've picked these end of spring, we'd be sowing the beans. The bush beans will be filling up here, and they're the only vegetables, well, the legume vegetables, that I can actually give back to the soil with nitrogen, which is so necessary to start the cycle again. For, let's say, in midsummer you'd be planting brinjals here. So that's how you always want to consider which plants would follow up quite nicely with the others, and in a space like this, you can really just have a step-by-step system, the one following in after the other.